All right, y'all. So we are back with another car review. We're talking about love and marriage, Huntsville, y'all. I don't have a lot of time today. I'm trying to see if I can make it to church this morning, but I wanted to go and grab some food. So I said, why don't we do this review in the car? All right. So I gotta tell y'all the truth. Because I'm in the car, I don't necessarily have all of my things with me, so I can't tell you the episode number, and I don't want to be looking down to read the synopsis. But what I can tell you is I think that this episode was a 10 out of 10. This episode to me was really, to be honest with you, what Love and Marriage Huntsville does best, okay? This to me is the sweet spot for Love and Marriage Huntsville. There's the spot between we gotta have real conversations because this is a real friendship group, or at least it began as a real friendship group, right? So, all right, where do we even begin, right? I give it a 10 out of 10. Let me know what you guys would give it. I felt like there were playful moments. We got a Melody Marsau moment, which I always find to be fun. We got some tea about Moses. Moses is back in. He's gone away, okay? He has a probation situation. And I'm like, girl, you was going so hard for this man, and he still is in and out of the system. Is that what's going on? Allegedly, I don't know, but this man that y'all, to me, listen, I know I got all of us got a lot of family, got a lot of friends, and who knows what has been in, the system for one reason or another, right? So I'm not really trying to come for this man about that, but I think what I am a little vexed about is, Destiny and Sunny, y'all's going after this guy, y'all fighting about this man, and it's he can't even move around like that. I'm perplexed. When I really think about it like that, I'm like, listen, I know y'all want to hold the man down, but it's giving love after, before, and during lockup. Okay? And the wild thing about it is, Marsau made a joke about, if you're on this show, you will eventually go to jail. I said, you know what? I almost threw my remote at the television, okay? Because just the simple fact that he said that, I was like, yo, this is wild. This is wild.
Quick editor note while I'm talking about Sunny. The Arion versus Sunny thing I just learned yesterday was actually started by some things that Arion had said, and it's captured in a video on Anthony Lofty's YouTube page. The link will be in the description.
So let's start off with the beginning of the episode. I think it was Miss Nell and Chris Fletcher having a conversation about what exactly happened with Fletcher hooking up Martell with Trish. And Chris made it seem like he was on the phone with Martell. Yeah, it's some hotties and baddies at the gym. Oh, I see one right now. Her last name is whatever Trish last name, Trish the engineer. So Martell apparently then looks on Instagram to find the engineer as her last name or whatever it is, and bam, he finds her. And then Chris is like, oh, well, yeah, she my cousin. Well, Chris, she ain't some random girl then, okay? If you know she ain't if you know she your cousin, she ain't some random girl. So you telling Martell about your cousin, the engineer, last name engineer, about random girl engineer, last name, but she also your cousin. What? I don't even think Miss Nell was mad about the fact that you looking at the people in the gym. We all got eyes. We all look. Everybody look. You can say you don't, but you do. We got eyes. So, and Miss Nell sure enough been talking about how fine Martell is, how sexy Megatron is, and this, that, and the third. So, it ain't no thing but a chicken wing. So, but the problem for me is Bro, just say, yeah, Trish is my cousin, and I knew she was, kind of single or whatever. And he was looking, and he claimed that it was during the time where Melody and Martell were not together anymore. And Miss Nell is looking like, well, we are mentor to the stars. We mentor to the stars, so you cannot be doing that. You're messing up our reputation, Chris. You're about to have our mentor cards taken away. So the next thing she she let that go, because it ain't going nowhere. And she's like, upset about, Melody downplaying their mentorship. And so, again, this is one of those situations where I think it's semantics. I think Miss Nell I think that maybe Mel or Martell at one point in time, I don't know, might have referred to Chris and Nell as mentors. And maybe that she meant it, or he meant it, whoever said it meant it in a general sense, but maybe not necessarily like my mentor. Like you saying you were my mentor is a little wild, because I look at you more like a friend. You might be a little more seasoned than me, but mentor, maybe you're not. I don't really know. I mean, I just mentor to the stars, maybe. I don't know. So, what else? So we did see a scene between Melody and Maurice. I thought that this scene was so good. I know a lot of people are going to disagree about this scene specifically, but I'm going to tell you what I think. For me, what I think is when Maurice asks her, like, hey, he essentially tells her, like, what is your issue with me, right? What have I done to you lately? Okay, what have I done to you? Do you feel like, as a result of your hurt and embarrassment with Martell and the beginning of this show and how this show started, do you feel like what you went through, you are hurt because for whatever reason you felt like we may have taken his side? This is a valid question. It's a valid question that permeates through the relationships that Mel and Martell have with the rest of the cast. And it's a natural reaction. I want you guys to know that. That's a natural thing for the two people who were in the relationship to have a level of expectation in some way, shape, or form. As Mel did state, there were things that were happening where you were he and ha. But him asking Mel directly, I don't know that she was ever going to willingly admit that to him, because I don't know that she really fully trusts him like that with her feelings. So I see it. I see where he was coming from. I thought his questions were reasonable, because we were talking about the core issue of, you were basically saying that, I had red lipstick on my lips or something like that. That was what this conversation was about. And I'm like, and Mel kind of just like laughs it off or whatever, which I also think is sometimes a protective measure for her. Because when you've been through so much on a public platform in this space like this, and it has become so contentious, I'm pretty sure she's had to build up a wall. And I'm talking psychologically speaking. So I don't know that she would ever admit to him that. And that's just facts. And what I like that happened in that conversation, even though there was some shade thrown throughout, I felt like what Maurice came to do was level set the playing field. Like, let's level set. Let's get to a place where at least we can just be okay. We may never be besties, because when he mentions Martell, she's like, I don't want nothing to do with nobody that's cool like that with Martell. Which also, again, that's in I gotta protect my peace type of moment, right? So I love this conversation, to be honest with you, because even though I don't think that they really resolved the issue, I think what they did was set a new level for how they're going to interact with each other, at least in this moment, right? Maurice apologizes for whatever he has done that has bothered her, and she had the opportunity to tell him, and she also had the opportunity to also apologize because she felt like he was sincere. And I think it's about creating a space enough that feels safe for two people to have a conversation. And I think that was his objective. Whether she felt it initially, I don't think she did. But by the end of it, when he offered her that apology, I think for me as a viewer, it felt like a release, right? It felt like a relief, right? And that's what I like about storytelling, when we can come to a place where we can at least get some level of resolve that feels at least friendly. All right, we get to the mimosa. No, there's a conversation where, let me tell you something. Chris and Marsau give Marquez the business, okay? Marquez is crushing on Melody, right? Trying to ask if Marsau can hook that up. And I guess we didn't see it at the table at Trish and Ken's event for the kids, that, you know, Marquez was like, you know, trying to, like, you know, hit on Melody. And my thought is this, like, bro, you giving Trish all types of grief and grievances over Ken, over some stuff that happened allegedly with the two of them years ago, from which you've already left. So now you got all these problems that you're dealing with, and you're still married to this woman, and you are claiming that you have issues with him being married, but you over here doing your thing, trying to get with Melody? Like, make that make sense. And why would she get with you? Why would she get with you? I mean, as it stands, Ken got to be paying for your kids, sending money to your kids. Why aren't you sending money to the kids, right? So while you over here flexing for everybody, right? And Marsau again gives him the business. Like, bro, Ken is doing what you won't do. Irregardless of what you think happened in the past, you come back around here trying to flex and make this big and have all this bravado, but you really ain't doing the work that really needs to be done. You doing the reality TV work, but you ain't doing the work that your kids need, apparently, according to, you know, Marsau. And Marsau does not let his foot up off of his neck the entire episode, okay? And I was here for it, because I feel like while Marquez, you know, is such an emotionally driven guy, I also feel like he's not necessarily, like, got his priorities in the right space. So it basically comes across like a little immature to me. And, you know, I've heard people say online, oh, well, he fine though. Listen, somebody can be fine, but are they fine for you? I mean, like, and that's really, you know, I think the bottom line. Like, nobody's perfect, but he seems emotionally not ready for being a parent, nor does he seem emotionally ready to really, honestly, I think he just needs some time to grow. Because I think he's in the stage of, like, making mistakes and trying to overcome them, but he's going about them in all of the wrong ways. So when we're at the Mimosas with Melody event, and, you know, Marsau, I mean, girl, listen, well, I didn't mean that, Marsau. What I meant to say was, Melody gonna get you. We're talking about that Mimosas with Melody event, baby. Because Marsau was going in last night. Marsau was doing what Marsau does best, and he trolled this entire episode. And I'm not gonna lie, I was loving every minute of it. I'm not gonna lie, I was loving it. I was absolutely loving it. This is an episode where Marsau has shined much more than I think any other time. All right, so Marsau was Marsauing in this episode, and again, like I said, it was good. It was good because he put Marquez through the paces. So not only did he joke about Melody's Mimosas with Melody being very similar to the Black Business Expo to her face, and they had that little banter, which I be feeling like, honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you, I be feeling like Melody knows she be wanting to laugh because I think we all know Marsau at this point, right? So we know he's going to troll, he's going to joke, he's going to do the things. I think what we oftentimes lose it with Marsau is when he starts like talking to Letitia all crazy. That'd be weird to me. But anyway, outside of that, I cracked up that entire scene. One of the best scenes of the season, to be honest with you. Like, in terms of how light it felt, how much fun I was having while I was watching it. I was like, more of this, please. More of this, please. Because it was just so good. It was just so good. You know, even down to Melody Marsau telling Melody that, yeah, you know, Marquez said he had you blushing or something like that. And Marquez is standing right there. He's like, I mean, you know, I ain't really say all that. You know, but I felt like it was somebody at the table that said Melody was blushing. When they did the flashback, was that Miss Nell? I don't really know. Anyway, so, and listen, she might have been blushing. I don't know. Just because of the, like, you know, sometimes a moment can be like, this is awkward, and you kind of start blushing like, I don't want this type of attention right now. Like, I ain't looking for this from you. And so, as you know, Marsau is egging the situation on. Marquez is fumbling through his words, trying to like quasi ask her out, but like not ask her out. Like, almost like, because Melody is giving him, you need to call my people. Because he's like, I want to see how I can add value to your life. Ninja, why don't you see how you can add value to them kids' life? And I don't mean that in no, like, brother, I'm not trying to come down on you. Please don't watch. Y'all, I want y'all to don't stop watching my videos like I be hating somebody. That's not me. Okay? I don't hate nobody. Let me tell you why. I'm going to tell you the number one reason why I don't hate these people. Okay? None of them. Okay? Because they give me something to talk about. So, I'm not going to hate on nobody that's helping me do my job. Okay? So, y'all can, everybody on the screen can act as crazy as they want to. It don't bother me none. Okay? So, let me get through this because my phone about to die. Okay? So, I'm like, brother, you need to, like, you need to be worried about what you got going on with your kids and Trish and this divorce, and not what's going on with Mimosas and Melody. Because at this point, unless you can actually buy her a bottle of champagne, I don't think it's anything you can do for her. And I'm not saying you can't, my brother. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, you got this man over here sending your kids money. You need to be sending your kids money, okay? You need to be forgetting about what Melody got going on. Be grateful that you was at the event. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, when the group gets back together, you know, Sunny is there in attendance. Girl, I gotta support. She gotta support her Melody. Gotta support her Melody. And everybody's like, where Moses at? Well, you know, he has some issues with his probation. And I'm like, Sunny, my dear, my love, beloved. Listen. Again, I've heard of love during lockup. And I know of some situations where people are married and their spouses are locked up. And again, I know it happens. I really do. I know it happens. But Sonny, you's a beautiful woman. You's a beautiful woman. And I'm not saying Moses is a bad guy, but everything that you have put yourself through on this show, for the sake of this man to only be back in the system or wherever he is, allegedly, I just know in some way, shape, or form, you got to be feeling a little bit crazy. You got to be. You have got to be. You have got to be glue. And I feel for you. I feel for you, baby girl. I do, because again, who want to say that? Who want to say, well, yeah, child, he's in the ding. Anyway, the last scene of the evening is Mel and Miss Nell. And Miss Nell is, she's got some grievances with Melody. She ain't talked to her in 6 weeks because she's been upset about that thing where Melody laughed at her when she called her herself the mentor to the stars. And she is still upset with that thing because she felt like Melody downplayed their friendship. Well, I feel like Miss Nell, I appreciated this conversation because it needed to be had. But what I feel like Miss Nell is doing is conflating mentorship with friendship. And the two are not the same. And while you may be considered a mentor or may have been considered a mentor at some times, the mentor is probably not going to be the person that's spending the night at the person's house and comforting them. That's probably the friend. The mentor is probably going to be setting up a plan of action, helping them set up a plan of action. And I'm not saying that she didn't do that. But what I'm saying is I think she's conflating friendship and mentorship. And Melody, for her, is looking at this as, girl, I thought you were being my friend, right? I'm like, we're friends, but you're not mentor to the stars for me. I got people for that, okay? And so had you come to me and let me know that you were still upset about it, we could have squashed this a long time ago. And I do like that Melody and Miss Nell, I feel like, share a safe space with each other where they can have those moments of tension and they can get past them, because there's something there that I feel like is maybe a little absent in some of the other relationships or needs to be rebuilt to a place where everybody feels safe in it. And I'm talking everybody, from Melody to the cast, to the other cast members themselves, right? So I don't know. And here's the other thing too. We also have to remember they have a show to film. So everybody's got to film. Even with people that they don't like or people that they may not even trust or low-key trust, right? And I think, as we will see in the next episode, when Martell and Marsau come to a head again, I think you'll see that play out, right? Because they still have a show to do. I don't like you, I don't respect you, according to Marsau, but I'm gonna still film this scene with you, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how I feel about you, whether you like it or not. And baby, not the I'm better than you. Woo! That's harsh. But anyway, that's my review of Love and Marriage Huntsville. This latest episode was good to me. I laughed. It was funny. I felt like this is where the show really shines, and I hope that they continue down this path. All right? So make sure you guys continue to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and we'll have more travel content coming as well.